So join us again. Semi-final match right now.
You won't get two better strike balls than these two you're going to be featured in this semi-final match. The Big D and Kelly Coffman.
There's one. Now Kelly, who eked out the win over Monticelli 218 to 214 on the right lane.
See if he takes advantage of that reprieve Monticelli gave him. Hear about Coffman in his first match game victory, something we haven't seen much from him, is he filled every frame, no open frames, and that's a key for a power player.
Strike and a spare. Through the first frame of the semifinal. The winner, of course, will meet Bob Spaulding.
Coffman gets a good break. He's sending that ball wide out over the first arrow. He pulls it left of the second arrow, crosses over the Brooks side, and gets rewarded. 10 in the pit. I think the most underrated player on the tour, the Big D, stands off the end of the approach. And you just look at his profile. When he can get loose, Chris, I think he could be a dominant type player on the tour here. Now notice how his hip movement is straight to the target, not much vertical movement at all. That's the key. Look at how low he is, and boy, can he put the wrist to it as he's open with 2 strikes in a row.
Just food for thought.
High risk, high reward type game, and obviously there's a risk to throwing the big hook ball, and he could pay a penalty here. He needs to get the ball to the 1-2 side, drive the head pin over into the 6-10, a tough shot, and he needs this to stay ahead in the match.
All but the 10. Here's a man that drives the entire PBA Tour. 4,500 miles already this year.
Watch the head pin knock the 6 pin around the 10. That's a bad break. I mean, you shoot it that way 9 out of 10 times, you'll make it. Bad break for the Big D.
So that double puts Kelly Coffman out to a 17-pin lead, and he can add to that.
Well, Kelly can be dominant if he can start hitting this left-hand lane. He was 5 for 5 on the right-hand lane, lane 40 here when he won the match over Monticelli, and he's 1 out of 2 so far in this match. So if the big guy who just curls that wrist hand underneath the ball can hit this lane, look out.
Now it's Kelly's turn on the left lane.
I once heard a young kid call this Pinocchio bowling. They just keep firing the ball in the nose and see what stands up, and they're getting a bunch of them. 5-pin counts. These big hook balls can leave anything. Needs to get the ball to the right of the 3, drive it over in the 4-7 zone.
All right, things get closer with these misses. We're in the semifinal match. Texas prides itself in producing horsemen. Check out these dudes.
On an all-new coach Monday on ABC.
The Forum with its chandeliers. Great equipment. Very hospitable spot. 21st year that we've come here. This is the 19th Quaker State 250. And nearly weighing in at 250 is Dave DeEntremont, leading by 2. that'll help. Here's Nelson.
Thank you, Chris. Our tournament leader, Bob Spaulding. And Bob, it's obvious that the man who can hit the left-hand lane can win this tournament. You have a game plan for it?
Yeah, I think I threw a couple practice balls on it, and I think I'm going to try to move inside just a little bit deeper and straighten things out just a little bit than everybody else is.
That sounds like a good game plan, Bob, because doing that, obviously, you won't have to send it wide and avoid the big splits.
Right. You just got to, there's a heavy concentration of oil, and then there's some dry to the right, and it's, the left lane is just really touchy to that.
All right, good luck in the match. We'll see. Back to you, Chris.
And thank you. D'Entremont has gone out to a 12-pin lead with the double. And now up in the fifth frame, Kelly Coffman. And he can cut it back to 2 pins on the left lane, which has been a problem. Let's watch him.
Kelly grabbing another ball, the first player to make a change with ball equipment. He's taking one that doesn't hook as much. Let's see what happens.
I think the reddest bowling ball I've ever seen.
That's from surface friction.
Ah, yeah.
The guy that sets up his wrist as well as anybody, check the grip of the big D. Sets that in absolutely perfect position and tries to maintain it all the way through his swing.
Well, 1, 2, 4, 6, 10.
I've always heard what Bob Spaulding, our tournament leader, had to say about the oil in the center of the lane, and D'Entremont just takes too much of it. Ball continues to slide by. We've seen this split twice before, the 1, 2, 4, 6, 10.
So for Dave D'Entremont, an open frame 102 through the 6th. And now trailing by...
D'Entremont cocks that wrist underneath the ball, and that determines where he's going to stand on the approach and the direction he's going to walk. When you cock your wrist under the ball, you have to walk to the left to accommodate your swing and slide that ball between the 3rd and 4th arrows in this particular shot. Watch this.
Tough. 4 pins. Trying to come back after that open frame and trailing now. 19. Dave D'Entremont going against Kelly Coffman in our semifinal game, the winner to meet Bob Spaulding. Cattle drives are usually set on open range, as we all know. But you know, this depiction can be found in, downtown Dallas at Pioneer Plaza.
It's game 2 of a Pizza Hut College basketball doubleheader Sunday on ABC.
Yes, it's happy birthday to our colleague Byron Nelson. 83 today. This is the 50th anniversary of the greatest feat in golf. 18 victories in 1945, 11 in a row. And I know our pal, mutual friend Phil Harris, and his movie star wife Alice Fair, watching this with interest because Phil and Byron played the Crosby often. Phil made a gigantic putt. When his caddy was asked how long it was, Byron said it was the greatest putt, but how long it was, the caddy said, "I'd like to have that much frontage on Wilshire Boulevard." So you know, it had to be big. Oh, our scouts aren't doing anything today, though.
Well, Chris, they get them during the tournament. These power players, when they get loose, they can sling that ball around. But Kelly Coffman kind of short-armed that shot. You get him the full extension, the full follow-through, and loosen up. He'll drive that head pin into the 10.
Kelly getting into this semifinal match from 3rd position by defeating Amleto Monticelli 218 to 214. Monticelli defeating Brian Goebel in the first match 244 to 202. Ooh. Way out of hand.
Well,
He's out of bounds.
That was OB. He's trying to throw the ball over the second arrow, or the first arrow, and he hits the second arrow. So when you miss 4 or 5 boards left, you're going to get a result like that. And this is no easy spare.
Open in the 8th. Now leading by only 3.
Well, cranker players are very entertaining to watch with their power and some of their miscues. And so far, Dave D'Entremont and Kelly Coffman have kept us entertained both ways as the match has come down to just a 3-pin differential. D'Entremont trailing by 3, 8th frame.
Didn't come up.
Well, it's Dave playing that lubricious center of the lanes where the ball just slides and slides and slides, and they're afraid of that high friction area to the outside, so they slip by the head pin a number of times. When they make the move to the right, they go high. This is where a player has to become more versatile, and these power players, to be great stars, need to do this. And what they must do, Chris, is basically throw the ball straighter.
So now 17 pins separate these two. You know, next Saturday at 3 Eastern and Pacific on ABC Sports, the Pro Bowlers Tour sails into sunny Florida. PBA Player of the Year Norm Duke will try to defend his title in the Choice Hotels Classic. That's next Saturday here on ABC Sports. Unique format. Join us.
All right, Big D, you either just got to lean on it or throw it a little straighter. Let's see what happens. Chris, if we recall players like Mike Durbin, Mike Edwards playing well on this championship pair, it's because they have the ability to throw the ball straighter. And this guy, D'Entremont, can do it. And he could be a great star if he would learn to trust that straight shot under pressure. Right now, he's trying to finesse the hook. It's not working.
Oh, you preferred the straight.
I had no choice.
Get out. The athlete that you are.
Well, in order for me to hook it, I had to throw it slow enough. These guys got the wrist power of the modern player, and this match is up for grab. Coffman has a 17-pin lead.
That came in the foundation ninth for Kelly.
A mark here in the 10th as he looks to the side, the official scoreboard, is lockjaws. He locks up the match with a strike or a spare.
Should that happen, we'd have 2 non-PBA titleists in the final game.
3, 6, 9, 10. No gimme, especially when you need it. If he makes it, he locks up the match. Need to get the ball over here in the 3-6 zone, carry the ball into the 9, have the 6 take out the 10.
Well, he avoided that 8-frame shot anyway. All right. Virgil has popped.
And Louise to his right. They know their son needs 4 pins. This one will be down the middle. There'll be no hook on this. Kelly Coffman, you know the score. Rock it down the center of the lane. Don't even take a chance of throwing it out in the gutter.
This Kamsen battling a native of Ohio, just as Byron Nelson and his wife Peggy, a native from the Buckeye State. So Kelly Coffman goes in against Bob Spalding. This ABC Sports presentation of the Professional Bowlers Tour will continue after this message and a word from our ABC station.